All right, team, welcome. Today we are going to dive into a skill that will absolutely change the game for how you use AI in our business. We're going to go way beyond just asking simple questions and learn how to give AI directions like a true pro so we can get genius-level results every single time. So, have you ever asked an AI for something and what you got back was just, a little bland, kind of generic, maybe just not at all what you were hoping for? Yeah, it's a super common frustration, but the good news is there's a secret to fixing this, and it all comes down to one simple word: structure. So here's our game plan for this little training session. First, we'll see why structure is so important. Then I'm going to give you a playbook with some really powerful formulas. We'll see them in action with real examples. I'll show you how to sidestep the common mistakes, and we'll wrap up by mastering your very first prompt. Sound good? Okay, let's get right into it. Our goal here isn't just to talk at the AI, it's to direct it with precision. Think of it like this. It's the difference between giving a new intern a really vague task versus giving them a detailed brief. That brief gets you exactly what you need, right? Well, that's what we're going to learn to do with our prompts. And just so we're all on the same page, here's our objective today. By the time we're done here, you will be able to confidently use these structured prompt formulas to get powerful, consistent, and really useful results from AI, whether you're writing marketing copy, brainstorming ideas, or even creating images. All right, let's get to the good stuff. I'm going to give you two essential formulas. Now, these aren't some complicated academic theories. Think of them as your new practical toolkit for every single time you talk to an AI. First up, we have the CLEAR formula. I love this one because it's just so easy to remember. Just think of it as a quick mental checklist you run through in your head before you even start typing. It's really your guiding principle for thinking strategically about what you want. So let's break it down. C is for clarify your goal. I mean, if you don't know exactly what you want, how can the AI? L is for leverage structure and context. This is where you give it the background, the who, what, and why. E is for embed constraints and details. Tell it the word count, the format, basically the rules of the game. A is aim for precision. Use specific, clear language. And finally, R stands for review and iterate. Your first try is just the start of the conversation, not the end. Okay, so if CLEAR is our guiding principle, the universal prompt formula is our detailed blueprint. This is your heavy hitter. This is the one you're going to use when you need really high-quality text, like blog posts, customer emails, social media content. It is an absolute game changer. So, what goes into this thing? Well, you got to hit these key points. You give the AI a role, like you are a marketing expert. You provide context about our business. You state a crystal clear goal. You list your requirements, word count, keywords, you name it. You define the format, give it examples if you have them, and specify the tone. Hitting all of these is what takes you from a generic response to a genius one. Now, it's really important to know that asking for text is a little different than asking for an image. For text, we're using that universal formula, focusing on things like role and goal. But for images, it's all about visual specificity. You're describing objects, scenes, lighting, and even telling the AI what not to include. We call that a negative prompt. And hey, beyond those two main formulas, keep these other powerful techniques in your back pocket. You can ask the AI to explain something like it's talking to a fifth grader. You can even tell it to ask you clarifying questions if it's not sure what you mean. We can create templates for tasks we do all the time, or ask it to think step by step to solve a really complex problem. Super useful stuff. All right, that's enough theory. The best way to really get this stuff is to see it in action. So let's look at how these formulas work in some real-world scenarios that are perfect for our business. Okay, look at how this all comes together. This is the universal prompt formula in action. Instead of just saying, write a blog post, we've given it a role, we've given it the context of our business, a super specific goal, clear requirements, a format, and even a tone. The result? It's going to be a targeted, well-written piece of content that's pretty much ready to go. And now let's look at an image prompt. Do you see the specificity here? We're not just asking for a cafe. We're setting the mood with soft morning light. We're defining the composition with a single person, the style as watercolor, and we're even adding that negative prompt, no clutter, to make sure it's clean and simple. This is how you get professional-looking images. Okay, now that you have the tools, I just want to give you a quick heads up on a few common traps that people fall into when they first start doing this. Knowing these ahead of time is going to save you a ton of frustration. Here are the big four. First, skipping parts of the formula. If you leave out the role or the context, you're going to get a generic answer. It's that simple.
Second, being way too vague with your image prompts. Third, forgetting to use those super powerful negative prompts. And maybe the most important one, failing to review and iterate. Remember, your first prompt is just a starting point.
All right, it is time to put this into practice. Let's do a quick hands-on exercise right now to make sure these concepts really stick. This is going to help you start thinking like a real prompt engineer. So let's play a little game I like to call What's Missing. Take a look at this prompt. Write a social media post about our new product. Based on everything we just talked about with the universal prompt formula, what crucial information is just gone?
Yeah, you probably spotted them right away, didn't you? We're missing the role, we're missing the context about the product and our business, we're missing key requirements like which platform or how long it should be, the format, and of course, the tone. Adding those details is what turns that vague request into a powerful command. You got it.
So let's just do a super quick recap of the most important points. Use clear as your mental checklist before you even start writing. Apply the universal prompt formula as your go-to blueprint for any text you need. For images, remember that visual specificity is everything. And finally, always, always be ready to iterate and refine your prompts. I want to leave you with this one final thought. With these structures, you're no longer just talking to an AI, you are skillfully directing a powerful tool to achieve a specific business goal. So the question is, are you just talking to it? Are you ready to start directing it? Your first assignment is to go try it out. Take a task you do all the time and build a master prompt for it using that universal formula. Let's go see what you can create.